Welcome to the award-winning PrepZone Show 2024. I am Johnathan Bentley, joined with my co-host, Zak McCullough. You want to say your name?
No.
I'll say yeah, I got it.
You're the professional introducer. That's your job.
So talk about the award we won.
Yeah, so we are the #1 Division B media show, I guess. What's the exact words on the award?
No, that's good.
Close enough.
And the prize is a life-size gold image of us.
I like the sound of that.
I hadn't come in yet.
Oh.
So we're going to have to stick with this.
All right, well, this is nice anyway.
But yeah, the only other award we had before was something my dad gave me. So this actually is legitimate.
Yeah, my dad wouldn't give me any awards, so you're lucky.
Right. All right, so it's been, how many months you think it's been since we've been here?
Ooh, January? I
think we talked about Kalen DeBoer.
We did.
Is that right? Yeah, so when did that happen?
Well, that was mid-January.
So it's been a while. Week. Wow. It's been that long?
It's been a long time.
But it is football season again, so here we are. And hopefully we'll be here for a while.
I hope so.
Longer than last year.
Well, the playoffs are extended in college football, so we might.
Oh, yeah, we might go through February.
That'd be fun.
Just push on to the Super Bowl, right?
Might as well.
All right, so you want to talk about what happened since the last show, some things?
All right. Last show, since then, we had some things that weren't exactly football. Jasper won the state softball championship. Really good.
That was fun.
That was very fun to watch. Then on the baseball diamond, Corner and Summerton Christian won state championships.
It's also fun.
Very
fun.
It
was crazy, the same day Jasper won it, Corner was playing for it. And if you know anything about like Oxford to JSU, it's not close.
No.
On the interstate, it's kind of like Jasper on 65. It says Jasper exit. It's like 30 miles away.
Right.
It was a lot like that. So you had to drive from Oxford up a mountain, down a mountain, end up at JSU. But yeah, they won it. Corner won it. I was very happy for both those teams. And Jasper, I guess they lost their all-star player.
They did. And their head coach.
Missy Odom took him to the championship. Well, she wasn't the only player on the team, obviously.
That's right.
But probably one of the best players in the state in basketball and softball. They won both of them. And she has transferred to Orlando now. So good luck to her over there.
Yeah.
Maybe by some miracle she'll come back. So she'll be her junior year over there. So good luck to her.
Yeah.
And I took up pickleball this summer.
You did take.
I took it up.
That shows how old you're getting.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
It's pickleball. I'm told it's an old person's sport. You beg to differ.
Yeah. Everybody there was young this summer. We were the oldest ones there by far. But it's fun. It's like tennis and ping pong kind of together. But
I like ping pong.
It was a good summer.
Tennis is a lot of running, but ping pong, you just have to move your arm.
This is not a lot of running like tennis is. Yeah. Easy on the knees. All right, so we'll jump straight into some football things here. We lost some good players last year.
We did. We really did. I mean, we had Cale Tittle, Keyshawn Pryor, Cam Deefer. They all graduated.
Guys we were always knew you could count on.
Right.
And now, so I've named some players from this year that it's going to be tough to, Cale Tittle was just outstanding.
I know it. I mean, watching him, especially against South Lamar, that was the biggest game of the regular season for Lynn against South Lamar. He just ran around looking for contact and took everybody out on his way to the end zone. I mean, he's so good.
And he was so fast. He was a sneaky fast guy.
Right.
And like if he probably ran, it wouldn't be a great time, but you put him in game and he's just flying. Nobody ever called him, it seemed like.
That's right.
But he's gone. He's going to Bevill State to play baseball.
At least he's still close by.
Yeah. He was a good baseball player also, obviously. But we got some guys that are back. Namely, I'm going to start with Jaden Griffin, who's the outstanding running back for Dora. He might be taking some snaps this year. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, really. Well,
over 20 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, his stats are very good. I mean, nearly 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns. That's Dora's lost a lot of key pieces. He's still there, and so he can kind of anchor that offense. They can run the ball more. So definitely be fun to see what he does.
Yeah, with Pryor gone, I think they're going to be running a lot more because they were a pretty good line too. Speaking of the line, one of those guys is at the bottom of the list here. It's kind of he could go to the top. Cade Chanel, who's probably one of the best offensive linemen around here, and he'll be leading the way there. Pledger at Jasper, Micah Pledger, he had very similar numbers to Griffin, but he was on a tougher. He was basically the one-man offense. He had, I think, like half their touchdowns last year.
Man,
and it's good to have him back.
1,600 total yards, 12 touchdowns. That's some good stats.
Yeah, they're going to be counting on him a lot this year. And Braylon Roberts. So I went to the Lynn Addison Jamboree and it was just he's the type that take a game over. Like late in the game, they're up 6-0. They throw a pass to him. It was 4th down. He's like the 6, and he just went in. I mean, he just made it to the end zone. Especially in 1A ball, it is really hard to stop a guy that big.
I mean, he's the kind of guy. He's a tight end, plays defensive line.
Yep.
But I mean, in a short yardage situation, put him at running back.
Yeah,
he's the kind. He could play almost anywhere.
He's also got great hands for a big man. You can tell him if you watch him play basketball. This guy has just really good hands. And in football, I didn't see him drop one the other day. They beat Addison 14-0. That was played more like a real game than some of these jamborees because Winston County takes
they take football serious.
Yes,
they do. That's good though.
Yeah, I like that. And another guy we mentioned, Trace Cagle, who's back, over 100 tackles, 14 tackles for loss for Oakman. That's probably the best linebacker around here.
Oh, he is an absolute game wrecker. Talking about Braylon Roberts taking over a game on the defensive side of the football, Trace Cagle can do the same thing.
Yeah. So this is his senior year. Expect big things from, I think, all those guys.
Right.
I think you can count on all of those.
Someone that got left off the list that I think's in for a big year, Tyler Thomas.
Oh yeah.
He's the running back. He had to share carries last year with Rick Johnson. This year he's the number 1 running back. His stats are going to go way up too.
Yeah, I think 800 maybe rushing, but they had kind of 3 or 4 guys.
Right.
But Jasper had trouble stopping him. He's just a big guy, So yeah, that's a good one to add to the list. All right, so we have several games this week. I guess some of these are rivalry. Most of them.
I love the rivalry weeks.
It's good to have Curry, Carbon Hill back.
I know
in there
that's
after 2
so
years.
wonderful to see that.
Yes,
on a
they
Thursday
played
night.
every year since 1980 till 2 years
Goodness,
ago.
man.
But then you got Lynn, Meek and Lynn have played every year since like the 50s.
Wow.
And they stopped it 2 years ago. They're both back. That's good for both those teams.
Imagine if they would have played 2 years ago when Meek went 10-0.
It's a shame.
And
it
even
really
last year,
shame.
Lynn goes 9-1. Man, that would have been the prime matchup of the season.
2 years ago would have been an outstanding game.
Yeah, they learned their lesson.
And we were always hoping they'd meet in the playoffs, and
Right.
they kind of skipped each other every time.
Because of Pickens County and Coosa.
Pickens County will do that to people.
Gosh.
And we have teams playing Pickens County again this year.
That's frustrating. And speaking of rivalries, Pickens County plays Gordo in the 8 Mile War.
That's a big one.
Big
That's 2 really good programs.
3A versus 1A, top of each division, too.
Yeah, it's funny. Pickens County, like they start the year, I think they're 10th.
Right.
But they're going to be in the championship game.
Oh,
or at least in the semis.
At least in the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, give them some respect for once.
That's right.
Pickens County just doesn't get it. But, all right, let's start with picking some games this week. Kind of talked about this a little bit. What do you think about Curry at Carbon Hill?
Man, like you said, first time since 2021. Curry has not won in this series since 2016.
Wow.
They won 70. They won 70-46. One of the craziest football games I've ever seen.
I think, you were at that game. You were probably like 8.
Yes, and you did not. You could barely believe the result.
I remember I was driving back from somewhere listening to it, and it was just because they kept going back and forth, and it seemed like then one team started messing up, and the other team took advantage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be a fun game.
That's the highest scoring game in both schools' histories, I think.
Oh. And that's the last time Curry won.
Mm-hmm. It's been a long time.
So who do you have in this year? Do you think that ends?
Well, I think Curry does snap the streak. I really do.
Wow.
It's at Carbon Hill, and that's going to pose a problem for Curry because Carbon Hill is going to be very loud Thursday night. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere. Crowd. Definitely the biggest crowd of the season, I would say. But just because, remember Coach Emerson at Carbon Hill, when he was at Curry, he combined the junior high team with the high school team. That means a lot of these kids from Curry played under him. They kind of know his system, so that's going to give them kind of almost the scouting that they need. Also motivation because Emerson leaves Curry to go to Carbon Hill. Mm-hmm. Both teams, I think they're very equal on the field. But I think because of motivation and the likes of that, Curry wins close.
I also have picked Curry. But if this was at Curry, it would have been easier. At Carbon Hill is a little bit harder. I really think, these teams, I'm not going to say anything bad about a team. You're playing football. You don't have to, right? These kids aren't getting paid for it, at least not here.
Not here, no.
So, so these kids really care about this. But Curry and Carbon Hill, it seemed like they're going in the right direction.
That's right.
And you couldn't say that maybe 3 years ago or 2 years ago. But I really like the way Emerson has it going. I think it's a unified team at this point. And I think Curry's like that.
Right.
think these coaches are both in the right spot. I don't know why I picked Curry. I see Cam Miles maybe having a big game. He had a good game against Hubbardsville in the Jamboree they had the other day. I think that's the difference I made. I just think they have maybe some more playmakers.
That's right. And the offensive line is a little bigger for Curry, too. I noticed that. So that might turn the tide. We'll see, though. I think it's going to be fun. And I would not be too shocked if Carbon Hill could win that one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are improving. That's maybe they have a playmaker we don't know about.
That's true.
Right? Yeah.
That's
So
very true.
could go the other way. All right, so another in-county game, Cordova at Oakman. That's always a good one. Who do you lean to in that one?
I'm leaning Oakman. It's at Oakman. And last year, I picked Cordova to win this game.
Really?
And then late in the game, Oakman completely flipped it, and they were able to dominate. And you look over Oakman's roster, they haven't lost a whole lot. You know, in Cordova, they're bringing in a new coach. Maynard's been there before, but still, it's Oatman's got a little more continuity. They're established, and so I think also because it's in front of the home crowd, and Cordova hasn't been at the same level the last few years as they used to be, but still, the brand means something to the opponents. So the opponents always play their best game against Cordova, it seems like.
Yeah, that was a fun game last year.
It was.
I think it was 9-6 Cordova at half, and then Oakman
They won
had
20-9.
a really good second half.
They did. They just dominated.
Yeah, so I'm going Oakman. Kind of the same reason you're saying. They got a lot of those guys back. And they were a young team 2 years ago, and a lot of these guys have made that jump.
They have. I mean, it's such a talented team.
Oakman's just in a terrible region.
I know it.
It's
You
so
got
terrible.
Gordo and Winfield.
I mean, yeah, you can go 8-2, play Gordo Winfield, finish 3, and then go to some powerhouse in the first round of the playoffs, like last year.
Right.
Mars Hill, which I don't know how anybody beat Mars Hill, but
And
somebody
now, the number one team of 3A, at least in the preseason poll, is Fife.
did. Which Oakman has played recently.
Yes, they played them in the
And that
playoffs.
didn't go. I mean, you
Just hope that doesn't happen
no.
to a good team.
It'd be nice if Oakman could come in second in that region. It'd be a big
second.
deal.
I mean, at least third, so they don't have to.
Yeah, I think they'll be third. See, last year that I think Mars Hill got upset by Lauderdale County or something, and it always works out bad for Oakman in the playoffs. It seems like
It's tough.
it's in a tough spot. But so we both went Oakman, we both went Curry. Corner at Winfield.
Well, both of these teams had really good seasons last year. Corner graduated some talent, got some talent back. Winfield didn't really graduate a lot of talent. It's all coming back.
That's not
And
good.
it's also at Winfield, or Winfield City. They have that on their helmets. It's
Yes.
Winfield City.
I
not
went there
Winfield.
last year and I asked them, "Do I need to call it Winfield City?" And they said yes.
Okay, so it's Winfield City. All due respect to Winfield City. I think Winfield wins, or Winfield City.
Winfield City.
I get used to this
Let
eventually.
me write city here.
Yeah, you better
There,
write City
okay,
on your
underline
notes
it.
before you get in trouble.
So Winfield City has beat. We talk about this every year. Been talking about this for like 10 years. Whenever the show started, with somebody holding a phone, we were talking about this. Winfield just doesn't lose to teams around here.
I know
right?
it. I mean, even back when Winfield was somewhat struggling, and back when Cordova was good, they stunned Cordova. I was there. I remember that. I was surprised.
It's hard to win there.
It's so hard
Yeah,
to win there.
It's really. I mean, Dora found that last year,
Yes.
and I picked Dora to win that game. I should know better. Now,
Because it's
Corner-
Winfield.
Yeah, I mean it's Winfield. I don't see them lose to anybody around here. So Corner, I would love to have seen Corner last year play Winfield.
Ooh.
That would have been a great game.
Corner probably would have won.
All those kids are gone though, so it's a new team. It's kind of like Carbon Hill and Curry. We really don't know what to expect.
Right.
So, all right. So we both went Winfield as well. So let's go to Friday games. We have 5 of those. 2 of those are Winston County rivals, but we'll start with Jasper at Brookwood.
Jasper at Brookwood, I think this is an even game. Jasper, they're up to 6A. Brookwood's in 6A. Brookwood, they do bring in a new head coach, though.
Priceville's coach.
That's right, who beat Dora in the first round of the playoffs last year. So
Disgusting.
yeah, I know what that is. But anyway, so the coach knows how to beat Walker County opponents. And I think because it's also going to be in Adamsville, which is where Brookwood's located, it's a road trip for Jasper. Well, no, I'm sorry. Miners in Adamsville.
Correct.
I was looking at the
Brookwood's
wrong note.
Tuscaloosa County somewhere.
Brookwood's Tuscaloosa.
Out in the
That's an even
woods.
longer trip.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
Even longer trip. So I'm going to have to go with Brookwood very close. Very close. Wouldn't be shocked if Jasper pulls the upset, though.
They both went 1-9 last year.
Someone's going to match their win total.
Yeah, that's
First
true.
game of the
Yeah.
season.
I took Jasper. I really have no reason. I'm thinking they're going to be better this. I think they'll be better this year. What
That's
that
right.
means, I really don't know. But a game like this is one they really need to win. To start 1-0 would be huge,
It would.
especially in that 6A region. with Shoals and Hartselle and Coleman and Athens.
Yeah, they got stuck in a Huntsville region.
Yeah, I think I would prefer that, but it's still hard.
Well, that's better than having to face a bunch of Birmingham area
Clay
schools.
Chaltville and
but
Ramsey and stuff like that.
They get Columbia later in the season, who sports an 81-game losing streak.
That's bad. I feel bad for them.
I do too.
No, can they not schedule somebody around here? Somebody around here go to make the trip to Huntsville?
Yeah.
That's a bigger school, though, 6A, so it's
6A,
kind of hard for them. Now, that team, this is one of our tangents, right?
Yeah, we're getting off on a tangent.
That team plays Huffman in the week 2, and Huffman didn't score last year, so something's got to give.
That might
score.
That might be the game of the season.
How do you not accidentally score? I think we talked about that last year. You not accidentally score once.
Goodness.
10 games. So, okay. So we're split on that one.
Okay.
Dorrit Minor, that's the 6A minor team. Dora hasn't played them since 99 years ago.
Wow.
This is
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And this game is in Adamsville, unlike what I said for the last one. So this one's in Adamsville. It's a road trip. Minor, it's a bigger school. They're 6A compared to 4A Dora. Middle of the pack 6A team.
Mm-hmm.
So
around 500.
Yeah, just because of the size, I'm going to have to go with Minor close. But I wouldn't be shocked if Dora pulls the upset. There's a lot of games that are going to be close on this schedule.
Yeah, I mean, Minor's a 4-6 6A, and they kind of do that every year. They're going to be bigger, probably have more kids. But I went Dora.
Okay.
I messed them up last year in the opener, and I'll see what I can do this year. So we're split on that one.
We are. So Friday, we agreed on every Thursday night game. Now Friday night, we're going to have some arguments.
Now, I think we're going to be in agreement on this one, Victory Christian at Summit Christian.
I am. Victory Christian, they've got a lot of talent. Last year was not good for Summit Christian. Had to forfeit 2 games because of injuries.
It was rough.
Now, the last 3 games of the season, I will say, they showed improvement. I think they scored 53 points in the last 3 games compared to 14 points in the first 7.
Yeah, so they got better.
They've got some positive momentum, but they do welcome a new coach, Jarius Williams, who welcome to our area coaching.
That was actually up here. Things that happened since the last show. We'll get back to it. Jarius Williams being hired at Summit Christian in June. So I think it was June, so it was a late hire.
It's a very late hire, but
good luck to him.
Yes, we'll see what happens at Summit Christian this year. They've got a slightly bigger team than last year. Slightly bigger.
Their region is just
it is a tough region.
Summit Christian has to play Pickens County. That would seem fair, right?
No.
And Lynn and Marion, all those teams.
But I'm going with the Lions of Victory Christian here.
Yeah, I did as well. Hopefully Summit Christian has a chance next week too.
That's right.
They can sneak and win this one. It's hard to I think they have some talent. They got a lot of baseball players.
They do.
Those kids know how to win, obviously, in one state, as we mentioned earlier. We'll jump to Winston County. Meek at Lynn.
Meek at Lynn. The rivalry
play the last 2 years.
It's back, and like we said earlier, man, we wish that we could have had this matchup the last 2 seasons.
Yes. We thought we were going to get in the playoffs 2 years ago.
We did, and it was so close, but upsets.
Yep, that always happens.
But so this, I think it's going to be a fun one. Really good game because Lynn may have a slightly more talent, but Meek's going to be motivated. But it's at Lynn.
Right.
It is at Lynn. They've got the railroad tracks, the light show. Lynn is a unique experience. It's a place you have to go there because it's so fun to go to a football game at Lynn. And I think the crowd is going to be enormous, very loud.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with the Lynn Bears.
Yeah, I am too as well. I went to practice there a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this is probably one of my favorite, just because of the train.
Yeah.
How unique is that? The train came as they're practicing.
That's right.
No, but, yeah, it is really – and they've been so good. It's just a fun atmosphere right now.
That's right. The fans believe, and they're going to be there.
And Meek, it's kind of some unknowns there. We'll see. Right. I think they'll be good again.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a playoff team, but, playing at Lynn is just that's
a tough
That's
ask.
A different beast right there.
It's a tough thing to ask of you.
All right, so what about the next game, Addison at Winston County?
Addison at Winston County. Now, Winston County's got a little win streak running in the
3
series,
in a row,
don't they?
which is a lot.
That's surprising. That's really surprising considering that Addison's really been, when we say this all the time, they're always the dominant team in Winston County, and they've been good the past few years. Mm-hmm. So it's surprising. This game is at Winston County, so that's going to make it even more interesting. So I was back and forth on this one. I'm going to have to go with Addison, though.
Wow.
I just think Addison's going to win it. I think that they're
due in the series.
They are. They're due in the series. Revenge, pent up for 3 years. I think they're going to be able to run the ball very well. Jed Wilkins is running that offense, so it's going to be fun. I think low scoring, very low scoring.
Oh, Wilkins is hurt.
Ooh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, when did he get hurt last year?
I can't
Basketball season.
That's right.
So I don't. That hurts.
That does hurt.
That kid's so good.
He is good.
He's really good. Would that change your pick?
No, I'm still going with Addison. The motivation, revenge. David Smothers coaching up there. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I went Winston County, which the last time Winston County won 4 in a row, I think it was the 50s against Addison.
That's been a long time.
Does not happen. But Winston County, I think they're going to be really good this year. When I say that about a team, usually is wrong. I will jinx that team.
Yeah, please don't do it.
If they stay healthy, I think they could make some noise in 2A this year. Now, that region is really tough, too. Sulligent, and they just missed the playoffs. They had a lot of close games and lost all of them, but they beat Addison. And being at home, boy, this is going to be packed, too. There's going to be some big crowds at these games.
There are. This is usually the big gate week where everybody's here. And once it gets to rivalry time late in the season, that also increases. But even though it's going to be otherworldly temperatures, still
not as bad as last year.
That's true, man. Last year started a week later.
Really?
It was still 100 degrees.
They had to push back times, and it didn't help.
No, it didn't.
I was at that Winfield-Dora game and just covered in sweat.
I was at Cordova, Fayette County, man. It was
so hot. It didn't help.
You're trying to take stats, and it's so humid that your paper's wet. the notebook paper is wet. It's hard to write on. So
hoping it's not like that this coming up week.
I hope not.
So, so we split on that one. And, all right, that's it for high school games. It's kind of they're all playing each other. So
That's right. So it makes for less games. Once we get into region play, when they're not playing each other, it's going to take a couple
weeks. Yeah, it'll be 12 different games like that.
We need to design the regions around here. We could have some good in-county region matchups.
I kind of wish there was something in between an area and a region to where you could schedule some other teams, like Carbon Hill could play Brilliant or something like that, and that Jasper could play Winfield, which would be a great game. They never play.
I would love to see Jasper and Winfield play. That'd be fun. Even if it is 3A versus 6A.
Yeah. Well, Winfield's always 4A for a day. Every couple of years.
That's right.
And
Winfield
then the next
City.
day they 3A.
Winfield City.
That's right. City school system. It's a great school, man. It's really nice over there.
Oh, good facilities.
Yeah. All right, so we'll jump into, since we don't really know anything, we're going with the top 3 teams going into the season.
Unlike top 5.
We usually rank the top 5.
But there's so many unknowns here.
Yeah, there really is. So we'll just go through your top 3.
All right, number 3. We're going to start at the bottom, work our way up. Number 3, I've got Addison.
Wow.
I think that once they get healthier, they've got a lot of talent on the team. Coaching is always solid. So when in doubt, pick Addison because they're usually going to be good regardless of anything. They're my number 3 team.
I have Winston County, which I have beating Addison.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
I really think I was impressed this summer with them when I saw them. They have a lot of talent. Now, those passing camps, is Addison, Winston County really going to pass that much? I don't know, probably not. But they were hitting everything.
Might as well pass them.
Yeah, they could have a passing attack. Yeah, I think they'll be really good this year. So that's my number 3.
My number 2 is the Oatman Wildcats. They've got a lot of talent coming back, good coaching. I think that this is going to be, they've taken steps up. So it went from 3-8, 7-4. With the region they're in and with the schedule they've got, it may be hard to improve on the record, but I still think they're going in the right direction. So I've got Oatman number 2.
I do too. I have Oatman number 2. That's pretty
agreed
good.
On something.
Yeah, you believe that?
On something.
We both are. They got some talent and good coaching. The whole thing, everything's working well over there.
That's right.
Got some big kids at great big positions too. Maybe some guys you hadn't heard of and stuff like that. They're just in that region, Maybe they get Gordo this year. I don't know. Maybe they beat Winfield for the first time.
Maybe.
In a long time. All right, so number 1, I think we're going to be different in this, I think.
Okay. Who you got? We'll let you go first.
Have Dora.
Okay.
Have Dora, which last year I predicted they would go perfect in the regular season.
Oof.
And that 10-0. Now they went 8-2.
Yeah, they had an 8-2 regular season.
Lost to Corner again and lost to Winfield, which I should have known better. So jinxed them right off the bat. So this year, I'm thinking similar. Now, they lost a lot of kids.
They did lose some talent.
They lost a lot.
They lost a
lot
of talent.
Their first 3 games are on the road, and it's Minor, Corner, and Fayette County.
That's a tough schedule.
That's really for an unproven, a different type team to have to play that schedule. Now, they played a jamboree against Springville and showed nothing. So they did nothing.
That's smart.
They didn't even call a time. They were down there to take the lead in the varsity portion of the game. They didn't call a timeout. They walked off the field. So They probably should have won that. Yeah. It didn't matter. But
don't show anything. Don't put anything on tape
that you
don't have to.
And those other teams will know that.
That's good coaching. Good coaching.
So I took Dora, but we'll see.
All right, my number one's going to be Lynn.
Wow.
They've been at the top for the past year or two. So they lose Cale Tittle, that's true. But, and I will say, the best thing for Lynn this year, Coosa Christian moved up to 2A.
Yes.
So they won't have to worry about running into Coosa Christian in the playoffs. If only Coosa Christian had been in 2A the last 2
Christian's
seasons.
the best. That's one of the best 1A. And somebody beat them. That's what's crazy. You watch this team, had this way with Lynn, and then don't even win the champion.
But you've got Elba.
You get to the top. Was it Leroy?
Elba, Leroy, Sweetwater.
Those teams just must be incredible.
The Washington County, Clark County down in that area is a lot of good 1A football teams.
Because we know Pickens up here, and we knew Coosa as 1A. Mm-hmm. And, they never win it.
Yeah, but now they're up to 2A. So.
Yeah. Yep. That's somebody else's problem.
Best of luck to them in 2A.
Right. Lynn had to go there twice in a row.
Goodness,
Boys.
That's tough.
And they were even better the second year, last year.
So was Lynn. I mean, both teams were improved the second time.
Boy, that team was loaded. Yeah, that was a really good team. But so we were the same on Oakman.
We were the same on Oakman. At least we agreed on number 2.
So where do you have Dora then? I think I would probably have Lynn right there at the next one.
It was very tough picking between Addison and Dora, and even Winston County and Corner. I mean, every one of them should have been on the rankings, but you cut it down to 3, so I couldn't give everybody their due diligence. No. But I went with Addison just because of the sure thing at 3. Dora would be a very close 4th.
Yeah, I think I would have probably Lynn. Lynn's right there with Winston County. Yeah. And they don't play, of course. That would be a great game. But Winston County, they played Addison last week. They play Meek coming up. So
playing local teams.
Yeah, that's what you should do. All right, so last year I think we had 5 bold predictions, and I thought that was too many.
Way too.
Because there was a stretch at the end. Maybe it was only 3. It was still too many.
It feels like 2. I mean, it's hard to come up with bold predictions.
Yeah, then you're just trying to find stuff, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
So I said 1 or 2. Do you have 1 or 2?
I've got 2.
Okay.
I've got 2. My first one, this really isn't too terribly bold, but there's not a whole lot of bold predictions to make.
It's hard to, I mean, it's bold. Right?
Every team in Winston County will make the playoffs.
Did they do that last year?
I don't
no,
think
Winston County missed out. Right.
I don't think Winston County made it, no.
I can see that. I think Lynn will be there, Addison.
So it's not really that bold. Me. But it sounded
Winston County
bold.
will be, they're in a lot harder region.
But they're an improved team. It sounds a lot more bold than it actually is. So.
Right. Yeah, on the boldness factor, it's like a 5.
Yeah,
right?
well.
So what else do you have?
All right, this is very bold. Somebody in Winston County might go to the state championship game. Somebody in Winston County goes to the state championship game. Wow. That's bold.
Has that ever happened? It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
Addison's done it.
Yeah, they've done it.
They've won state before. I don't know if anybody else has done that.
Yeah, but that's a bold prediction. Might not happen. Hope it happens. I hope somebody from Walker County makes it too.
Well, that'd be great. That would be bold.
That'd be very bold. So somebody makes the state championship game. Whether or not that happens, who knows? But I needed to be bold after that first one.
Okay, so
what's yours now? I'm interested.
All right, so the first one is Curry and the Carbon Hill are going to win 2 games.
Ooh.
Now you will say that's not great, but I would say one of them was 0-10 last year, and the other was 1-9.
That's bold.
Now they play each other. That's one.
That's one. Yeah, somebody's going to have a game one in there. And then Curry's got Cold Springs. That's a winnable game.
If Curry could start somehow 2-0, it'd be unbelievable. It would be huge. If Carbon Hill could use whoever gets that first win, that's going to be a load off.
It is. It really is. Somebody's going to have a winning record for the first time since, gosh, how long? 2021.
It's been a long
Carbon
time.
Hill started 1-0, but that's true. That's true. So it hadn't been too long, but it feels like longer.
And I think that was against Curry.
That was against Curry, 66-8.
That was the last time they played until this year. Yeah.
DJ Emerson was the head coach of Curry at that point. So
that is correct. My last bold prediction is Lynn wins 10 games again.
Wow, that's not a bold prediction at all.
No, I mean they've done it 2 years in a row.
No, that's under mine. You get a boldness factor of 3 or 4.
Right. It's the main thing is who's going to be the new Kel Tittle. There is no new Kel Tittle.
You can't.
First of all, there's no, and they shouldn't compare anybody to him. But I still think they'll have.
You can throw the football. A really good Roberts. Team. Throw it to Braylon Roberts.
Yeah, great hands.
Like you are.
You can count on this guy. Yes, I've said before. In basketball, you can tell the guy just had really soft hands. It's just great hands and could handle the ball. He's a great basketball player.
If I'm on the basketball court and Braylon Roberts is running at me with the basketball, I think I'm just going to leave.
Right. He was just all over the field against Addison. It's going to be hard to beat Lynn this year. Addison, I guess their region, though, do they beat Pickens for the third straight season? It'd be unbelievable.
That could very legitimately
This is a
happen.
it's a tough region to put you right through it. Marion County's always around. They
It'll
play
be-
Hackleburg this year. Hackleburg's supposed to be good.
I like the sound of that.
So hopefully, if Lynn does win 10, that's maybe more impressive.
That's remarkable. But
Yeah, they got a good coach too, Hastings.
now I will say we talk all about Lynn's offense. Lynn's defense is going to be really good this season too. You said that they allowed 20 yards against
I think
Addison?
it's 27 rushing yards, and Addison is going to run the ball.
They are.
They don't.
They're going to
they
run.
don't throw much. Yeah,
They're going to run.
yeah, and they were in the backfield a lot. Okay, so that's our 2 predictions. Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy.
Carbon Hill maybe win 2 games. That would be awesome.
That would be big. Or even Curry too. Whoever loses the Carbon Hill Curry game, if they were to win 2 games after that, that'd be pretty cold.
Yeah, that would. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about college. These conference changes. So now there's no Power 5 anymore.
Power
It's the
4.
Is it the Power 4?
It's the
though?
Power 4.
See, I don't think the Big 12 kind of do they deserve a power?
Big 12, they've got.
They call it a power conference.
They got Oklahoma State, Utah, decent teams. Kansas is supposed to have a good shot at
they're
making the
ranked.
playoffs. Kansas, they were 2-10 2 or 3 years ago.
You put them in the SEC. What do they do? They go 500.
They beat Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Vanderbilt.
That's not bad. So if they get those on the schedule,
They might have a shot against Auburn. No offense, A&M maybe if they get them at home.
Auburn.
See, we've already gone into more conference realignment, putting Kansas in the SEC. What are we thinking?
I know it's my fault. So I was curious because I saw SMU and I can't think of what conference it was. It was
They're in
something
the
crazy
ACC.
though. Yeah,
They're in the A.
That
So is
doesn't
California and
seem
Stanford.
wrong. So SMU seems that's more wrong than the other two because it's just it's like a UAB size school in a power conference.
That's weird. That's what it's almost like I don't know. The Big 12 they expanded. They got UCF and BYU, a couple of them smaller schools.
Yep.
Cincinnati.
It's going to take a while to get used to this.
It will, but So the ACC expands and gets SMU. Cal and Stanford. You could change the name of the conference to the All Coast Conference,
Yes.
but SMU they're in Texas.
Yes.
They're on the banks of the Trinity River. Does that count?
Wow. So Florida State SMU is a conference game. That doesn't seem right. North Carolina Cal.
And imagine the road trip from Syracuse, New York, to the Bay Area of California.
in conference. What's hard to believe that other sports have to do that.
Basketball season.
A women's basketball team has to travel across the country for
when
a
you've got
conference
2
game?
games a week and you've got schoolwork in between. My goodness.
This didn't make a whole lot. I wish they could have fixed the Pac-10, kept 12, and kept their own conference. Wish a Big 12 would have kept Oklahoma and Texas and fixed their conference. Instead, they all messed up, and here we are.
The Pac-12 just needed to merge with the Mountain West once it got down to 4 teams.
They didn't merge.
Well, now Oregon State and Washington State.
Yeah,
the
they're
Pac-2.
Yeah, and everybody's going to bail out. How are they going to get a player to sign there now when they're not even in a major conference?
They lost. Oregon State did. They lost DJ Uiagalelei, the guy that was at Clemson, the one whose name took a long time to learn how to pronounce.
Yes, I still can't. I'll let you do it.
Now he's transferred to Florida State.
So he's at his third school?
This is his third school.
Wow.
How old is he?
He's got to be a senior, right?
I think so.
God, that was so many years ago. Who's at Clemson? That's crazy.
That was the COVID season, 2020. Yeah. He started for Trevor Lawrence.
He was the next guy. Yeah. And just never really panned out.
Just like Caleb Williams was the next guy at Oklahoma before he transferred.
And now he's on the Bears.
He's Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be cold compared to Los Angeles.
Oh, it's going to be miserable, especially later in the season.
He could be at Buffalo or Green Bay, though. So
it could be worse.
Could be a lot worse.
Buffalo. Yeah,
hey, the NFL draft next year is going to Green Bay. That's going to be terrible standing outside in that weather. Even if it is April, it's still cold in Wisconsin.
April is freezing.
We got off on a real bad tangent there. I was about to say, where did we get to the NFL draft?
Okay, so, Zach, what do you think about this season again?
I think there's a lot of every team can improve, some more than others, of course, but there's going to be, I think most teams will improve, don't you?
Yeah, especially some of them have to.
That's right. Some teams have to. We're not going to go into
details. We hope
details.
they do, yes.
We hope everybody.
Good luck to all those teams.
But well, first show went well. You were in mid-season form. I'm still stuck in preseason.
No, this is still the preseason.
I mean, it's still summer.
You got to wait till mid-season till we're really rolling. Here, right. All right. So that wraps up our first show. Our PrepZone magazines are out. They're $1 at the office if you want to get one of those, and we still have posters for free for the county and Jasper if you want to come and pick one of those up.
But there's not many left, considering that I'm about to take these 2 home when I leave.
That's true.
So come by when you can, quickly as possible, and get those before they're gone.
All right, and thanks to Jake for producing and Bevill State for sponsoring us again this year, and we'll see you next week. Oh, I broke my pen now.